Well, hello everybody, I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular, and right here on my table, I have a coin collection that I purchased today from another YouTuber. I want to go over the whole collection, kind of talk about what happened during that process of me buying this collection, and kind of maybe open your eyes a little bit if you are somebody out there that is not very experienced in coins, kind of like some thoughts that might go through your head and maybe some questions will be answered in this video that you may have. So I encourage you to stick around and watch the video, and let's talk about this coin collection that I bought today from another YouTuber. Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. So I have a few coins here laid out. Most of these are the silver coins, and these right here, well, I'm going to get to it. It's a giant container, a 10 of coins. If you know Charles Chips out of, where is it at? Pennsylvania. Let me know how those chips are, but if they even exist anymore. One thing I want to say is the videos that I talk about coins are a little long, and there's a reason, because there's a lot to learn here. If you find somebody who says that they're a coin expert or a coin pro or a silver expert or a silver pro, run for the hills, right? Because there is so much to learn about this stuff, coins, coin collecting, that most people that are truly at a high level of understanding of coins, they consider themselves students of the game as well, because it's always changing. And silver, when it comes to silver and gold, like, everybody that's an expert knows the same thing that you do. Some kind of trouble or craziness going on in the world, and that stuff goes up. And then when it comes down, they go, during that craziness, they're like, hey, well, geez, I don't know. It's kind of unexplainable. It's kind of weird. It must be a sellout. It must be manipulation. But anyways, everybody's kind of a student. And there are different levels of students out there for sure. But there's a lot to talk about. And this video right here will not be able to tell you everything you need to know. And it should tell you enough, though, hopefully, if you have a coin collection, if you are considering buying one, some things to do, look for, and talk about with the person you're buying from, or, that you are going to be selling to. First of all, first thing I would do, before I get into this coin collection at all, is get yourself one of these red books right here. Now, the prices are a little wonky. Don't, hate the person you're selling to or buying from if they don't come to agreement because of the prices in this book. Don't always follow these prices, man. They're a little bit jacked up to the sky, a little bit higher than what you need to be paying and what you should expect to get when you sell your collection. But what you can do is, this is a 2016, obviously this is 2022 when I'm making this video. You can easily go to most coin shops and say, hey, do you have an old red book for sale for a discount? Because these are, what is this at? This is, a $15 book, unless you're in Canada, and then, it's a little bit more. But a $15 book, and you just go and say, hey, do you have an old one? Because typically old coins, they don't change, right? They still have the same mintage. They still have the same information. They were alloyed the same. They don't change that over the years. So if you're buying an old collection, an old book typically will be just fine. Also, if you go to like a Barnes & Noble or other, bookstores, go to their clearance section, and you should find some older date red books in there for a discount. Okay, but that was something I would highly recommend. Now, this collection came from a YouTuber by the name of Superpower Cinematics. He does some cosplay stuff. If you don't know what that is, it's like people dress up as their favorite superheroes, gaming characters, and just fun characters that they enjoy, and they dress up, and basically it's an excuse for women to dress as skimpy as possible and not be at the beach, is what I view it as, but that's me just trying to be funny. But he does some really cool videos of them, and I've known him for years, and I've been trying to get this collection for years too. And I said, hey man, prices on silver are going up. It might be a good time for you to consider selling. And he was in the need for a little bit of extra money. I guess he has a renovation to his place, and he needed that little extra cash, and that's why this worked out. Now, because I just told you who it is, Superpower Cinematics, I'm not going to give you a price that I paid for this, because that's now a personal thing between he and I, but I will give you plenty of information about this collection. Just as a disclaimer, I will say that I paid beyond the price that a dealer would have paid for this stuff, because, we are friends. I've known him for years, and I'm buying as not quite a dealer, because my plan is not to resell this stuff. But you know, you can't pay what a dealer would sell this stuff for either. You know what I mean? Like you can't pay full on retail prices when you are going to a person's house and you're buying this stuff. But I felt like I gave him a really fair deal. And I even asked afterwards, hey, did you think that was fair? And he had some questions even afterwards. And I want to talk about that stuff because I want to clear some things up that you all may experience. So inside the 10, let's get to that first. It is a bunch of coins. I'm going to show you this without making too much of a mess. Right? It's like a clown car. It just keeps coming out. Oh, look at all that. And I probably just overlapped onto my other coins that I had separated for a reason. But these are just a bunch of coins. And the person, you know, Superpower Cinematics actually had these all laid out, all nice for me to easily see. I would say that's a good idea. If you are trying to sell a collection, have everything spread out easily. Don't come to a shop. Don't have somebody come to your house to appraise your collection and have them in one big nasty pile like this and say, you know, there's my collection. You know, what do you think? Have them all separated. If you, and it's, you know, you think, oh, it's impossible, right? I don't know what I'm doing. If you see two coins that look alike, put them all in a pile. Just keep putting them, you know, separated. And that way the person that's buying it can easily see what everything is. Have those all separated by types. And that'll help the person greatly. I will say that all of this was all separated nicely by Superpower Cinematics. Again, he did the right thing. He also did a little bit of research, which is definitely the right thing to do. But these are all very common. And it started getting a little confusing for him because, you know, he definitely did some research, but he, you know, some of the research out there can lead you and other people astray. For instance, he, you know, had all of these Kennedys, and you do a quick little bit of Google research and you find out that some Kennedys are not the same, right? You find out that some were 90% silver, some are 40% silver. So if you're watching this video and you're not sure, you have your dimes, your quarters, and your half dollars, right? These are half dollars, not half daughters. Those are full on half dollars, and not to be confused with your daughter. But half dollars, dimes, and quarters, those three right there, prior to 1965. So everything before 1965, 64, 63, 62, etc., all of that stuff were 90% silver. So it doesn't have to be a rare date. It doesn't have to be a good, you know, looking coin. It has value automatically because silver and gold are very valuable to people that collect precious metals. And so therefore those coins right there being made out of 90% silver automatically hold value. Again, 1964 and prior. Now, what's special about the Kennedys is they had some dates that were 40% silver. So again, you know, a little bit of value there. You have 1965 to 1970 were 40% silver. So again, a little bit of value there. They typically sell for a little less, those coins right there, because you know, dealers don't have that much of a demand for them, and you know, usually they buy them maybe even a little bit below the spot price of silver, and then they have to sell it for maybe spot, you know, they sell it for a little bit less. So people think they're getting a deal on those, but when they go to resell these, they usually get hit. And these right here are examples of the 40% silver coins. So you have 1968, another 68, 67, a 68, another 67. So again, the 40% Kennedys were minted 1965 to 1970. So again, nice to see, nice little bit of money right there. But, you know, it's not to say that they didn't do their research, but there's a lot more that could have been done, because after I bought this collection, they said to me, hey, I'm just kind of curious, how come all the Kennedys weren't, you know, paid for with silver prices, you know, in mind? And it's because after 1970, so here's two examples right here, 1971, they were just alloyed copper nickel, and the value is not nearly what it would be. And typically they're just spending money. I mean, they even make Kennedy half dollars today. Here in 22, they're making Kennedy half dollars, and they're worth 50 cents, which is not terrible. As somebody who buys a collection, they'll buy all that stuff. They might just go to the bank. They might just hold them. Who knows? I mean, you're just kind of buying them. There are some out there, and this is a good reason to have the red book and do a little bit of research. There are certain ones within that series that are a little bit more valuable. I'm going to try to open that up to the $half section right here and show you those real briefly, because just about every single coin series out there, they had some sort of rarity, some sort of coin that's worth a little bit more. And in some cases, there's some that are worth a lot a bit more. So here is Kennedy half dollars. Again, 64 to date, meaning that they're still making them today. Now this is a 2016 book, so it's only going to go to 2016 with the information. You look right here, and there is an example. Just the first year that's on this page right here, 43.5 million were minted. Okay, so that is a lot. That's a lot of coins, and a lot of times you see these numbers over here, and it says $3, and you think, hey, that 50-cent coin is worth at least $3. Again, these prices in the red book in particular are way inflated, number one. Number two, this is a decently high grade. This is mint state 63, meaning that coin came out from the mint almost in, perfect condition, and you can see that on the coin usually. All of these coins typically are meant for circulation. This coin right here has wear to it. It's got scratches. It's got, dings and stuff. It's kind of a look that only a mother could love. But, it's not going to give you that kind of price right there. And then let's say that you go to eBay and you see that one sold for $2 or whatever the case may be. Just remember that eBay can be deceptive, and they're sold listings, not their buy listings. Because again, with buy listings, I've mentioned this before, people can put a coin up for sale on eBay for whatever they want. I can go right now to eBay, put this coin right here up for $5,000 and just have it up there. Now, everybody's going to be like, well, I'm not buying that coin, but I can put it up there for that. Now, there's a sold listing section on eBay, which you can find, and you can actually see what coin sold for. But let's say it sells for $2, right? Now, you're talking about you got to ship that coin out. That may or may not be included in that price. And you have to also consider that now these days, with how everything's more and more with fees and everything, you're almost talking a 20% fee between eBay and the credit card or PayPal fees that they take. That's got to be considered when you look at that price, which eBay doesn't take that out. They just show you the price that was earned from that coin. They don't talk about all the fees. So there's a lot more that goes into it. So when you see that price right there, $3, don't think that, hey, I'm getting that for a really, really common, typically just spendable piece of change like these right here, which was all of this. They had done some research, and like the Susan B. Anthony's, they had done some research on the Sacagaweas, and some of them look really nice condition. But you can go to the bank today and you can say, hey, do you have any dollar coins? Sometimes you get the Eisenhowers, sometimes you get the Susan B's, sometimes you get the Sacagaweas, and sometimes you get the new presidential dollars. He had one of those in there somewhere. I don't know where it is in this big mess, but that's all very common stuff still today. Now, there are some rarities again in there, the wide rim, Susan B's and the Cheerio dollar Sacagawea that everybody wants and everybody thinks that they probably have, right? But those coins are such a rarity that you typically don't have them. And another coin that everybody looks for is a certain type of Eisenhower dollar that's worth, in good condition, maybe like $150. Typically, though, a lot of these Eisenhowers, they were meant for circulation. So you don't have, first of all, that rarity. And then second of all, if you do have the rarity, what's the condition of the coin like? You might not have this nice luster to it right here. It might just be worn out. And then you start talking $150 at a nice condition. Now you're talking maybe like $5, $6, $7, And again, if you're going to sell that on your own on eBay or whatever, what are you really getting out of it? You're not going to get a whole bunch. Anyways, that's my rant on that. And it has to be a long rant. And I'm sorry, people say like, oh, you could have said that stuff in less time. I don't think so. To really give people that are watching this on all levels, and I'm really kind of targeting the people that are down here on this level, that are just watching this for that kind of information, down at the lowest level. They want to see like, hey, I have this coin collection from grandma, grandpa, whatever. What do I do with this stuff? That's the kind of the person that this video I think helps the most. And I give, props to those people right there that are watching this video. Number one, because if you have a coin collection and you don't know anything about it, do some research. The person that I bought this from, actually, once they started researching the coins, They enjoyed the history. And it got to the point where I was like, hey, listen, no pressure. If you don't want to sell this coin collection because now you're appreciating it more, I can walk away. I can tell you about it. I'll sit here and talk to you about it for as long as you want. But if you want to keep it, you can keep it. But they were more set on selling it because they had some, renovations that they wanted to do to their house, so they needed some money. But I will say that if you have a coin collection and you have no love for it, right? Grandma, grandpa, whatever the case may be, pass this down to you. And you're just saving it because, grandpa had it and I know that they'd want me to have it and stuff, but you have no love for it. Pass it on to somebody else. Because I bet, like for me, if my kids, get my coin collection or whatever, and they just have no love for coins, I'm happy even from beyond the grave, to let them sell my collection and get something that they'd rather have. And then this collection goes to people that do appreciate it. Like grandpa and, grandma who had these collections, maybe they really appreciated it. And then it goes to a collector that does appreciate those. And then you get some money that goes to something that you appreciate. So if you have something that you don't like, sell it because somebody out there may appreciate it. But definitely do some research because maybe you'll fall in love with it too. And that would be neat. Anyways, let's get to the coins that actually had a lot of value to them. Here are some wonky piece dollars. There was a better condition in there, a couple better conditions, but for the most part, they were kind of nasty. And actually, I kind of want to use gloves because now that they're in my care, I do want to treat them a little differently. Not to say that person wasn't treating them right because they were pretty much just stored away, but I'm a coin collector. I want to do things as a coin collector would. So the 1924, nice luster to it, nice condition. It's a better coin. I just dropped it. There goes 25 cents off the price, but no, I think it'll handle it. This stuff was circulated. It really was meant for circulation. They've survived a long time though in a nice condition. Two 1924s in nicer condition, but the problem is you pay a little bit more for the condition for sure, but you don't pay a whole lot more because that particular date, 1924, is such a common coin. You can't pay over the top prices. You really have to look at the trifecta, and I explained this to the person I bought it from. You got to look at the condition of the coin, and you got to look at the date and mint mark, and those combinations right there really determine a coin's value, because the date and mint mark could be a rarity or not. And I told him, because he had actually a lot of 1921 Morgan dollars over here, and I told him, I said, hey, the 1921 Morgan dollars you have are the most common Morgan dollars in existence. I said, there are so many of them made. I said, but if you had a 1921 Morgan dollar, not very rare. However, you have a 1921 piece dollar, pretty rare and worth a lot of money. Not crazy money, but a nice amount of, money, a couple $100 in a nice grade for sure. A few $100s in a really nice grade. But this is what he had. A lot of Morgans, mostly 1921s, but he had a few here and there that were actually in nicer condition. And I paid more for that stuff. You have coins that have some cartwheel still to them, some luster. And the cartwheel is that light bending off of it. Reminds me of kind of like a lightsaber fight right there. That stuff adds a little bit extra value for sure because now you're talking about a nicer condition coin. And what's nice about eBay, has all those negatives I just said about it, is you can go on eBay and look up sold listings and try to compare your coin, its luster and everything, with prices and try to get a better idea of what the price could be or should be as the markets are always moving. Because coins right now are extremely hot, and especially silver and gold coins, they're very, very popular and hot right now. Morgan dollars, these right here in my hand, super hot. So if you have them right now and you've been sitting on them and you have that collection and you want to sell, you don't like that collection, you want to move it to somebody else, you want some money for it, it's a good time right now. Will it be a good time in a few years? I think it will be, but there's no telling. There's a good time right this very second. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, they say, right? So if you're thinking about selling, now is a great time. In a few years it might be too, but it may not be. I don't know. I don't know. So again, I'm not going to tell you the exact price, but I did pay more for the nicer condition Morgans for sure, because they deserve more. Some were actually worn down to death, and the person I bought them from was like, hey, he goes, I know you're probably not going to even want these coins. I know they're going to be worth a lot less, but even in this condition right here, I mean, you're paying $25, $27, $28 just in this condition. And that goes beyond the price of silver. because the price of silver for these right here now, I'd like to say off the top of my head, it's between $19 and $20 for each one. And that's silver prices. That's today as I'm making this video, with silver close to $26 an ounce. That changes all the time. But, you know, that's based on silver price alone. However, they do have some value as a classic coin, some numismatic value that goes beyond that silver value. And people are paying, you know, a decent amount of money for these. There was a time when I was buying these right here for $10, $11 each. And now, you know, in the worst condition, you got to pay $25, $26, $27. You know, that's the dealer price. That's not the price that people go to a shop and pay. They pay even more than that for those things. It's crazy right now. It's a good time to sell. It's a fun time to buy for sure. But that's one of the things that he had asked about right there. A lot of the questions that he had asked had to do with certain rarities, certain varieties within the different series. You know, just saying, hey, you know, I looked it up and found out that this coin right here potentially could be a $2,000 coin. You know, like some of these, you know, Cheerios dollars and stuff right there that could be very rare. Everybody seems to think that they have the ultra rare $100-something thousand wheat cent, you know, and they never have it because it's ultra rare, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to get these things. There's a reason why it's rare and it's worth so much, because not everybody's going to have it. Most likely you don't, but hey, here's my fingers crossed for you, hoping that you do have it. But also, this was kind of a cool thing to find in this collection, was a Columbian Exposition $50. These are the first commemorative $50 that came out, the classic commemorative $50, and from the Columbian Exposition in 1893, and I believe there was also one made in 1892, but this one right here in particular, and I probably paid for it really because of what it is. I really like classic commemorative $50, but this one right here is definitely cleaned, and I'm going to take the gloves, or one glove off for a second. And if you look at the fields on it, around the really flat parts of it, you can see all those swipes and everything. And that was another question too. They had asked if they have these coins, should I clean them up first? Is it a good idea to try to get them all nice and shiny before you sell them? And I would say, in just about every single case, don't clean your coins. Just about every single one. There may be some very, very, you know, few examples where it's a good idea to clean your coins, but typically do not touch your coins with any kind of cleaner. Leave them as is. Even the ones that are like this right here, all, you know, nastied up like that, keep them as it is. It has tape residue on there. You know, you can still sell that for silver price and, you know, a little bit of numismatic value too as a coal coin because it's all damaged. But don't clean them off. Keep them as is. That's where the real value is. You start swiping away at the coin, you know what I mean? You're swiping dollars away. Keep them as is. I couldn't stress that enough. But that was a question that he had. He also had a question about some of them that were darker compared to, like, you know, like this one right here, who has a nice little tiny darkness to it, little tiny bit, but mostly kind of has that nice cartwheel, looks kind of bright, versus something that's a little bit darker in color. Like this one right here has some darker toning to it. And I said, no, man, that darker coloration, sometimes you got some rainbow colors. I said that adds, you know, a little bit of value because sometimes the toning can be valuable to people buying it. And also that's how the, you know, silver coins do it. They tone, man. They get a little sulfur in the air and they start darkening up a little bit. And sometimes you get rainbow colors and you get some beauty to them. So it's kind of appreciated among coin collectors, is that nice toning. So keep them as original as you can. And I don't mean original like from the mint, but whatever state that they happen to be in, whatever colors that they happen to go through, keep them as is. See, it's a long-winded video, but again, this is stuff for all levels of people that need to know this stuff. I found this kind of interesting. This was kind of an oddity in the collection. He only had 3 foreign coins. Here's one right here I'm seeing. There's another one dug down in the common pile there. But just some little tiny, you know, oddities. And you know, most of the time foreign coins don't have a whole lot of value, but there are some out there that are really, really loved by coin collectors, me included. I love all of the silver Mexican coinage, and I told him, I said, hey, this is actually kind of cool. This is, you know, 10% silver, this un peso right here. Kind of nice little piece to see in that collection. And it doesn't add a whole lot of value I think as of the making of this video, you're talking like $1.30. I ended up paying more than that for it, just by a little bit, just by a slight margin over that, just because I like them. I like to hold on to these right here, but typically these don't sell very well. You know, like I say they don't sell well, but they sell quite well. It's just they don't get you a lot of money. People might sell these for the, you know, spot price of silver, which is, like I said, like about $1.30-ish, maybe closer to $1.40 right now. Not a whole lot of room there, but that's typically what they buy them for. And what else did he have? Oh, some Buffalo nickels. He had one V nickel that is pretty worn. Here it is right here. Little 1911 V nickel. And, you know, you pay a little bit extra for this kind of stuff, but not a whole bunch. I mean, it's very, very common stuff. I was even telling him, I said, I know that they're old. You know, you're from the 1800s sometimes, but they made millions of these things. It's not like I can't go to a coin shop, you know, that's an actual coin dealer and be like, hey, I need a 1911, you know, V nickel. And they probably like, oh, geez, you're the first one that's asked for those in years. It's just a common thing. Some cool things to see, though. 1916 Buffalo. The date is so worn down. The reverse looks all right on this. Let me zoom in more. But, you know, it's just so hard to see that date. There's some varieties here, but you'd have a hard time trying to see that variety with that kind of wear. A couple of them were actually in a little bit better of condition. I'm going to go through them now. Here's a 1919 again. That date's kind of flattened, but at least you can see it. A lot of times with the Buffalo nickels, that date has gotten worn down to almost nothing. Nothing. Be careful with the staples on these right here, too. As you can see, those staples are out. Those staples start going across a coin or sliding across here and there, and you're gonna damage that coin. There's definitely some pitting and some damage done to this coin right here. It's 1917. It's a shame because that would have been a nice little coin right there, but that is definitely a damaged coin. You can see the holes and stuff, and the Native American's head. Yeah, that's a shame, but still cool. Still cool to see. You know, some little numismatic out there, lover out there, some little kid would probably love to have that coin in their collection. And maybe one day at a coin show or something like that, I can give it to them. Here's a 1936, and that looks like it has a scratch, yeah, right through the top of it. That could have been somebody sliding one of these staples right across it. There's a couple more. And that's probably what happened. These were all kind of like locked together in that collection, and they probably just got that staple just swiped right across them. So be careful with the staples. People recommend just taking some like pliers or something like that and just flatten them down. But they can cause some damage to your coins, just so you know. And let's see, here's a 1924. They've all got some damage to them, don't they? I see scratches throughout. These staples just went buck wild. This is probably one of the nicer ones, this 1935. But again, super, super common. Very, very common date, 1935. A couple more, and then we'll start wrapping this up. Here's a 1920, but again, date's like very, very lightly visible there. It just says 20. And even though we don't see the first two digits, which is 19, we know it based on the coin's, you know, mintage and the years that it was actually produced. You can kind of deduce what it is, you know, what it's supposed to be. But there's that. Here's a 1929, and bada bing. So yeah, flatten your staples. That's a good example right there of a little bit of damage that can happen from that. But a lot of this collection was very, very common coinage. Coins that you can go to the bank today and say, hey, I need $50 or I need, you know, dollar coins, and boom, there you are. There was a couple wheat cents in there. Very, very common. Condition was just not very great. In wheat cents, people see these and think like, oh man, it's an old coin, 1945. It's got wheat on the back. It's so cool. First of all, this one has damage. In some cases with the wheat cents, they're so common they made a billion plus, 1 billion. There's a lot of them. So I would say that doing your own research is definitely good. And the person that I went to today, Superpower Cinematics, definitely check him out on YouTube for sure. Cool dude, and he does some really cool work. But he did some research, which I appreciate because we go in there together and we have some idea of what's going on. But there's a lot that he didn't know. There's a lot that I helped him with. I ended up giving him a free book with some information on it on pricing. Just, you know, if he wants at his leisure to check out some prices, you know, that'd be cool for for me, I said, hey, take that book. Maybe you want to look through it. I said, if not, after I leave, go ahead and throw it away. But either way, gave him the opportunity to learn a little bit more from the book if he wanted to. And I, as a coin collector, I love being able to buy a collection that somebody is just over. They don't want it anymore. They needed to move on to other things. I'm appreciative of that. And so, again, if you have a collection out there that came from somebody, a relative, whatever the case may be, it was passed to you and you have no love for it, pass it on to somebody else, man. Sell it and let another collector enjoy this stuff, because I will enjoy these coins. What I'll end up doing is with the Morgans and Peace dollars, my favorite thing to do, and I'm low on them right now, is putting them in these little plastic capsules right here. I only have 2 left, so I got to pick and choose my favorites out of this bunch, but I'll get more. But I put them in these little plastic capsules, and then I just lock them away, and once in a while I bring them back out, and I might talk about them on YouTube and do that, but I love the things. I love them a lot. With a lot of the spare change, I've got bags and stuff of this all over the place from other collections. There's a baggie of some I have. I have other baggies here and there. It's literally just pocket change. I mean, you could bring this to out grocery shopping with you and spend it and either really upset the person behind you or really impress the cashier and be like, hey, look at this old cool coinage that I have. Either way, it'll either go to the bank and I'll trade it for cash or put deposit into the bank, or I'll just spend it. I don't know yet. Sky's the limit on what you can do with this stuff, though. The 40% coins, I am not a lover of. I'm not really that collector, but one of the things that when you go to buy a collection, you buy it all. The person has this collection, you give them as much information as you can, but you buy everything that they have, or you're willing to. There was a few pieces there that they had, and I said, hey, this might be cool for you to hold on to. Do you want to hold on to this? And they actually had some currency, some bills, a lot of $2 bills, some red seal notes in really nice condition, really crisp, hardly any creases or bends to them. And I was like, you might want to keep those, man. Those are really, really cool. And they're like, yeah, I think I will. And I gave them the advice. I said, go to a Hobby Lobby or something, or somewhere on the internet that has these little archival grade little plastic sleeves for dollar bills. And I said, put those in there, man, because those are really nice looking. And I think that they'll probably do that. They seem like they wanted to keep those and do more research on them. And I always promote that. I'd be just as happy, and I told them this, I said, I'm happy to give you information on this stuff and walk away without ever buying any of it, because that would make my day to have another coin collector out there. But, they didn't want that. They wanted to have some information, but then move it along. And so I'm happy there too. If they want to sell it, I obviously I have it now, and now I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with a lot of this mess over here. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to take back to the bank. There's no rarities. I would say, as somebody who's buying a coin collection, if maybe you're in a hurry, right? Maybe you didn't have the 2 hours like I had today to spend with Superpower Cinematics to go over this collection. Maybe you're a dealer and you're just in a hurry, or maybe you're a seller in a hurry, but go through somebody you trust. And, maybe, you as a dealer, you just, as you're at your home, your office, whatever, you're looking through these coins. If you do see that coin that's really special, that's, a super expensive coin, do the right thing. Get back with that person and be like, hey, just so you know, this is a $100,000 coin. I wouldn't feel right about paying you, $1, $2, $3 for this coin. What do you want to do? You want to sell it, you want to hold it, you want me to find a person that can buy it, you know what I mean? Maybe we can share the profits a little bit. Definitely do that, the right thing for that person. And I told him that. I said, you don't have anything really expensive here that I see, but I said, as we're going through this collection, if you have a $200,000 coin or something like that, I will not be buying that from you. I told him, I said, I don't have those kind of funds with me. I said, but I can find you somebody that will buy that. And that was kind of like my service, is to try to help that person out. And I wouldn't expect anything, but if you're a seller and some buyer is doing that for you, you should definitely offer them a piece of that prize if you sell a coin for some crazy amount of money. And they're doing the legwork for you by finding this buyer. That should be the appropriate thing to do, in my opinion. Anyways, I've rambled enough. I'll get at least 20 comments saying that this thing has gone on too long. But there's a lot to talk about. And as much as I've talked here, which is like a 30-minute video plus, I've only scratched the surface of what you could be doing. There's a lot of rare Morgan dollars out there. These right here on the left-hand side. There's a lot of peace dollars that are very valuable. Condition goes from, literally from 1 to 70, and there's a lot to talk about there, but this is just a brief overview of a coin collection that I bought without giving you a price, again, because it wouldn't make sense for me to give you the guy's information and now you know how much I paid for it. To me, it's a little bit of a conflict right there. I cannot, in good conscience, do that. But I feel personally that I paid them fairly, and I wanted to make sure that afterwards that I reached out to them and I said, hey, do you think that you got enough money? Do you think you didn't get enough? And I'm kind of curious why. And that was what I talked about with the Kennedys, is they had kind of a thought that all the Kennedys were silver. And that's not how it works. They have certain dates, and it's kind of a problem, I guess, with the way coinage was made, is that they look the same, but they're alloyed different with just the dates, changing basically when it was done. And that can be a problem for a lot of people that, just see a silver looking coin and they go like, oh, these two coins right here are identical just because they look the same. But they are two completely alloyed differently coins. And that's the fun of numismatics, I guess, trying to discover what's what. Anyways, like I said, I've rambled on enough. I appreciate you for watching. Thumbs up if you did appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. I would love to have you check out my other videos, which sometimes ramble much less, for sure. Share the video with others. Maybe somebody else has a collection. Maybe you know somebody with a collection. They could use some of this, maybe just a little bit of this information to help themselves out. At the very least, like I said, go out and get yourself a red book. Go to a bookstore. Look at the clearance section. You could probably find these on discount. Okay? I got to go for now, though. Appreciate you for watching. My name is all covered up right here, but here, this is me, Spegtacular, and this holographic sticker is out.